This is TomoNews for Monday, September 4th.
Another benefit of selfies. Researchers at the University of Washington have developed a smartphone app that is able to detect the early signs of pancreatic cancer by analyzing user selfies. Bilirubin is a bile pigment produced when the liver breaks down old red blood cells. One of the symptoms of pancreatic cancer is jaundice, caused by an accumulation of bilirubin in the body. The Billy Screen app is used in conjunction with a 3D printed box that controls light exposure in the eye. The app can also be paired with paper glasses that helps calibrate color. After the user has taken a selfie, the app's computer vision algorithms and machine learning tools can spot even the slightest increase in bilirubin levels in the sclera of the eye. The app is designed to help people get early treatment if needed. However, the results are not as definitive as a blood test. Everything you need to know about North Korea's latest nuclear test. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un took a break from not pooping at the weekend to make some boom boom. Big boom boom. On Sunday, September 3rd, North Korea conducted its sixth and most powerful nuclear test at the underground Punggye-ri Nuclear Test Facility. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the underground explosion resulted in a 6.3 magnitude earthquake. Estimates put its explosive yield at 120 kilotons. For comparison, the little boy bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945 had a yield of 15 kilotons. The recent North Korean test was 8 times stronger than that. But it's just over a third of the power of the recently tested U.S. remote-controlled nuclear bomb, the B-61-12. That holds a maximum yield of 340 kilotons. Meet the Castle Bravo. This had an explosive yield of 15,000 kilotons when it was tested in 1954. It's the most powerful American bomb to ever be tested, but it's not the strongest. This is the Tsar Bomba. This Soviet super nuke was tested in 1961 and had a blast yield of 50,000 kilotons. That's 400 times stronger than North Korea's latest test. But don't think that makes the North any less dangerous, because turning a test bomb into a deliverable nuclear payload is quite the challenge, and it looks like the North might already be there. There is speculation this weekend's test bomb will form the warhead component of the Hwasong-14, North Korea's intercontinental ballistic missile. This ICBM can reportedly hit Alaska. Over the weekend, the United States threatened a massive military response against the use of such a weapon against the US or its allies. Interestingly, President Trump is considering stopping trade with any country that does business with North Korea, aka China, because without the People's Republic's support, the North Korean regime would collapse. The dangers of unexploded World War II bombs. Explosive experts defused a massive bomb in Frankfurt on Sunday. The explosive was a remnant of the last World War more than 70 years ago. The 1.4-ton HC-4000 bomb was found buried at a construction site close to Goethe University's Frankfurt campus on Tuesday. The discovery prompted authorities to evacuate over 60,000 people from the area, which is home to hospitals, retirement homes, and Germany's central bank. Dubbed Blockbuster, the British World War II-era bomb could generate an explosion capable of flattening an entire block. Of the estimated 1.5 million tons of munitions dropped on Germany by Allied forces, some 15% failed to explode and ended up getting buried. Experts say over 2,000 tons of unexploded weaponry are found in the country each year. Despite having a dedicated bomb disposal unit, Germany's unexploded bombs remain a problem. The aging munitions could become more brittle and unstable, and are reportedly being spotted in harder-to-reach areas. Los Angeles hit by blaze of historic proportions. Firefighters in LA are currently fighting the largest fire in the city's history. Governor Jerry Brown declared a state of emergency in Los Angeles County on Sunday as firefighters continued to battle a 5,900-acre brush fire near Burbank. The blaze was 25% contained by Sunday night, with more than 1,000 firefighters from across California currently on scene. According to the LA Fire Chief, there are over 200 fire engines and 9 helicopters dedicated to battling the fire. 300 homes in Burbank and 180 homes in Los Angeles received evacuation orders. 3 houses have been destroyed by fire, while 2 firefighters have been treated for dehydration. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti already said the blaze was the biggest in the city's history in terms of acreage. Fire officials expect full containment within 3 or 4 days. Shouldn't there be a harsher punishment? A police officer said to be fired after he was caught on camera saying, "We only kill black people," is being allowed to immediately retire instead. Say what? Lieutenant Greg Abbott was recorded on his dashcam telling a woman, "We only kill black people," during a traffic stop on June 10th, 2016, just 4 days after the Philandro Castile shooting in Minnesota. In the video, the driver appears nervous to grab her cell phone in front of the cop. "But you're not black," Abbott says. "Remember, we only kill black people." Yeah, we only kill black people, right?
Use your phone. It's in your lap right there.
I just don't want to put my hands down. I'm really sorry.
You just do what you want.
No. I've just seen way too many videos of problems.
But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videos you've seen, have you seen black people get killed?
The Cobb County Police Department had announced it was going to can Abbott last Thursday. But Abbott sent in a request to retire, and on Friday, Cobb County announced his request for immediate retirement was approved. Abbott is entitled to his full benefits, and he would have received them even if he had been fired. But of course. Is this humane? An Oregon court ruled that a Southern Oregon couple must silence their incessantly barking dogs by surgically removing their vocal cords. The couple was sued by neighbor Deborah and Dale Crean in 2012 over the noises several of their Tibetan Mastiff dogs were making by barking. The Creans were compensated $238,000 for putting up with the noise, and the judge also ordered that the owners debark their Mastiffs. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, devocalization or debarking requires surgically cutting an animal's vocal cords, which decreases the volume, pitch, and intensity of the animal's bark. The technique is considered a last resort by the Medical Association and is strongly opposed by various animal rights groups in the U.S. The owners told Oregon Live that the dogs were raised to protect their sheep from predators. However, the court ruled that their Tibetan Mastiffs weren't ideally suited to work with livestock and ordered them to debark the dogs or replace them with pooches that were more suitable for the task. The Oregon chapter of the Humane Society of the United States said that there are other ways to discourage a dog from barking, such as with citronella spray and shock collars, or by simply building a visual barrier between the dogs and the neighbor's property. It's unknown whether the couple plans to appeal the decision to the Oregon Supreme Court. CNN crew saves driver from floods. CNN is still making the news for its Hurricane Harvey coverage, only this time it's receiving some positive PR. The network came under fire yesterday when reporter Rosa Flores was blasted for her alleged insensitivity in an interview with a flood survivor. But the tide turned today when reporter Drew Griffin and his film crew rescued a driver from floodwaters in Beaumont, Texas. The driver made the mistake of driving on flooded roads and plunged straight into a ravine. Luckily for the driver, Griffin and the CNN guys were on hand to save him from his sinking truck. Now maybe the doubters will actually believe journalists are humans too, even CNN reporters. The driver later thanked the crew for saving his life. Quite the turnaround for CNN, don't you think?
Winnie, Texas.
Oh, this family will have a fabulous story to tell. A woman who went into labor on Sunday as floodwaters from Hurricane Harvey surrounded her apartment was saved, thanks to a human chain of neighbors and firefighters. Soon-to-be parents, Dr. Andrea and Greg Smith, were trapped inside their apartment by Hurricane Harvey, and during that time, Andrea went into labor. Unable to get help from outside the apartment complex, the Smiths realized they had no option but to prepare for a home birth. The Smiths' neighbors, who are also medical professionals, showed up with medical equipment and supplies after someone called for help. Word traveled until eventually someone whose father lived across from a fire station was able to tell firefighters about the Smiths' situation. As water levels continued to rise, the group decided to move the delivery process to the second floor of the apartment complex. When a large garbage truck was spotted outside, Greg ran out in the rain to ask for help, and that's when, to his amazement, he was told the vehicle was actually there for him and his wife. People quickly clasped hands and formed a human chain to help the laboring Andrea through the waist-high water and into the truck. After settling down in the hospital, the couple were given dry clothes and a real delivery room for Andrea to give birth. And at 1:59 a.m. on Monday, the couple's firstborn, Adriel, was born. The volunteers' brave act was captured by neighbors who lived in the same apartment complex the Smiths live in. And that footage has since gone viral across Facebook and Twitter. Blasts rock flooded Texas chemical plant after floods. 15 Texas police officers were temporarily hospitalized on Thursday after they investigated explosions at a plant near Houston. Fears of an explosion at a storm-ravaged Crosby, Texas chemical facility prompted the evacuation of 300 people from the area earlier this week. Blasts were heard at the facility on Thursday. The Arkema Group anticipated an explosion after flooding from Hurricane Harvey had cut power to their chemical cooling and emergency systems. The chemical plant makes organic peroxides, a compound found in commonplace everyday items. Some of the substances are volatile and will catch fire if they aren't refrigerated. Officials warn that more explosions and fires are expected at the 49-year-old site.
Saved our lives.